And welcome everyone to another interview with, of course, the one and only H Block. What a unique name, by the way.
What was what, sorry?
I said, what a unique name, by the way, H Block.
Well, I got it from Sticks actually gave it me. I was 16. I'd just come back for a little bit of time off. And he was like, do you know what? You're going to be called H Block. I was like, why H Block 6? It's like, well, it just reminded me of Cell Block H. Because at the time I was doing a chav gimmick. You know, tracky bottoms, one leg rolled up, all that Narfam stuff, you know. Absolute, yeah, it was just, ugh, I didn't like it at all. Hated the gimmick, hated talking like that. But it's one of them where I feel like you play the best character of the people you kind of dislike in that manner, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So you'll always come across as a better heel than doing a character that you think, oh, maybe it's not that fitting, rather than does that make sense? I'm stumbling over my words a bit.
no, it does make sense, stuff like that, but you
Yeah.
got to admit, though, it is a unique name.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I've been H Block since I was about 16, so I've been H Block for about 10 years now.
Okay, interesting. I'm excited to learn all this stuff. H Block, I mean, how's the week been for yourself, mate? All right?
Yeah, very busy. As I was mentioned to you earlier, I've just come off concussion, and a swollen nose actually as well. Um, yeah, it wasn't fun. Been back to the gym today. Not the best. It was horrible, horrible. Good workout, but horrible feeling like the way I did. Had training yesterday with Brady Phillips, phenomenal wrestler, by the way. Massive respect. I've wrestled him on 3 occasions. And we did some stuff that he and Adam Bolt and a few others did in Florida in the Heart Dungeon, which was very fun to sort of learn different things that they learned overseas, kind of thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to using some of it in my matches, hopefully.
It's interesting you mentioned Brady Phillips because I've always said this and I want your opinion. Would you say he's underrated in the UK scene?
Oh, massively. Brady Phillips is there where he should be here. He's got so much talent. Um, Phenomenal worker, uh, fantastic work ethic, and he's a mean hitter. I can tell you that for a fact. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't want to scrap him in the street.
Absolutely. So we're going to knock the fan questions out because we've got quite a few. And the first one comes from Jade Claw. I hope I've said that right.
Yeah, yeah.
And she says, which wrestlers inspired you growing up?
Well, that question is from my missus. She was telling me in the car that she did it. Um, but I can't remember if I've actually told her this, but it was Paul London who actually got me into wrestling. Just watched one of his matches and I was kind of think that is so cool. I'm gonna try that. I think I was about 11, and I was doing parkour as well, free running. So I had the athleticism kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it was definitely Paul London. And then as I got on a little bit, it moved on to like AJ Styles, which actually AJ Styles is in one of my favorite matches of all time. It's in the old TNA ring.
Yep.
It was AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe for the X Division title.
What a
Love that
match.
match. Oh, absolutely phenomenal. No pun intended. Um, but yeah, that was one of many matches that really sold me onto wrestling and made me fall in love with it. But going back to what I was saying before, it was definitely Paul London um, who got me into wrestling.
I mean, what did you reckon to his tag team with Brian Kendrick?
Oh, I loved London and Kendrick. Absolutely loved it. I actually, for one of my entrances, I only did it once. I found sort of a similar mask that they used. You know, when they came out with like the
Mm-hmm.
old doctor, yeah, the
Yep.
beak nose mask. I found one of them, and at the time I was going by the Tornado Matt Hopkins. So I painted half blue, half silver, and then I had a T in the middle, and I came out that with that for my entrance. Did the slide, because me and Sticks was having a joke before, because I don't know if you remember, but when London did the slide in the ring and he reached the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the ring, Sticks was like, "You're not going to try that, are you?" And Sticks knowing me, I'm a bit of a like, "All right, I'm going to do it now. You've said it," kind of thing. I didn't do it, unfortunately, but my knees did because my knee pads fell down. So I had massive ring rash on my knees because I was sliding into the ring that often.
Oh dear, Jesus. Next question
Yeah.
comes from Honey JJ Jelly 5. I hope I said that right. If you
Mm-hmm.
could sit down with any wrestler, who would you pick?
Ooh. Oh, that is a good question. Do you know what? If he was alive, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yes.
Eddie Guerrero he was absolutely fantastic. He's a brilliant babyface, brilliant heel. He can do the lucha, he can do the tech, he can do the power stuff. I think, in my opinion, he's just an all around fantastic wrestler. And I loved watching him, it was so entertaining. Um, I've actually stole one of his moves, the Three Amigos.
Yep, I remember that because I was there in Sarley.
Of course you are, yeah. um, and if I had to pick another one, I would have to say, ooh, who would I say? Probably AJ Styles. Just sort of pick his brains, and like with Eddie, he was good at the power stuff, good at the flying, good at the technical, but he also had the same as Eddie that had the fire. Do you know what I mean? He had the ability to have the
Mm-hmm.
crowd in the palm of his hand. Yeah, I think that would be very, very cool.
This is an interesting question about AJ Styles. Do you prefer the WWE version or the TNA version?
TNA version, hands down. He had a lot more free reign on TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Old school TNA though, like 2012 kind of AJ.
Before Hogan.
Yeah, short haired AJ.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I have to agree with that, by the way, Jeremy. I love the TNA AJ, so
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree on that. Next question is from It's Aiden98. It says, what made you return after so long away?
I just missed it. Plain and simple. It's been a massive part of my life since the age of 11. And then I left to take some time off. I think around 2021, 22, kind of. And I just got the itch. I was seeing stuff online. I was like, I missed that. I want to get back into it. Yeah, a wrestler never truly retires. You know, like you get people like The Rock coming back for one match, Ric Flair coming back for one match. A wrestler never really retires. So I was just, yeah, you just get the itch for it. You know, when like someone's played football for a long time and they just knock out on the head for a little bit, then they have a little bit of a kick around and you're like, oh, I'm getting back into this.
Absolutely. So this next one comes from Jade Ajax. Obviously, she was on the show yesterday. And she
Yeah.
says, who is Bruiser? I think it's some old wrestler. I don't know, though.
So Bruiser was a old trainee who we had a bit of a joke with. So when I say Bruiser to you, you think big stocky lad like Brady. He was about same build as George Davey, who was also on the Sawley show, and he was calling himself Bruiser. So me and my friend Mark, we came up with this voice, and every time we saw him, was like, "All right, Bruiser," kind of thing. And it just became a running joke, really. So yeah, that's who Bruiser was.
Did you have an idea that would be the question from Jade?
I had an inkling. I had an inkling.
Oh dear. This next one comes from Callum47. It says, what does the H stand for in H block?
Cell block H. as in prison, because I was doing the chav gimmick. So Sticks was like, right, we're calling you H block. So I was watching this prison program, and it was Cell Block H. Yeah, that was pretty much the origin behind H block.
Okay, and then last one from Callum was, how did you come up with your theme?
My theme. So, I came out on when I was introducing the new debutees, or however you want to say it, to Ozone Dragostina. That's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. Absolutely love that song. It's catchy. It's got a good beat. And then the ring announcer Carl sent me this voice clip of the one I'm using now, and I was sat with Jade playing it, and I was just like, "Yep, I'm having it." So the full thing was on YouTube. So he sent me the link to it, and I didn't realize until the other day about my own song that it starts off with Zoza and Dragostina, then it goes to Cascada every time we touch. So it's kind of meshed them both together. And obviously, coming out to it, you don't really listen to the lyrics. But I was watching a match back with Jade and Honey, and it was Honey who said, it's two songs together. No, actually, sorry, it was my youngest lad who was singing it, and we didn't realise, and was thinking, why is he singing it? And then we rewatched the match back. Then it was Honey saying they both sort of meshed together. So that's where that came from.
Okay, so I want to go back to obviously when you come back after the 4 years stint. What was the emotions like when you stepped obviously in front of a crowd again?
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I stepped out of that ring, I stepped out of the curtain. Sorry, I cried. I cried. I've just it made me realise how much I actually missed it. How much I sort of craved the adrenaline that the crowd give you on that entrance. And when I got into the ring to lift the mic up to my mouth to talk, then it was just chant saying "Welcome back, H Block," and I looked at Jade, who was in the crowd, and she could tell I was getting choked up because I went to talk and just no words come out. It was just it was so surreal kind of thing. Like I've done it a million times before, but coming back after 4 years of not doing it, it just makes you realize how much you really missed it and how much you actually crave the adrenaline rush of performing like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't mind me asking, what was the reason obviously for it to step away?
I fell out of love with wrestling, unfortunately. Um, I was just doing the same thing over and over again, and it was just getting boring and stale. And I didn't want to give the crowd any less than my best, kind of thing. So I just fell out of love with it. So I thought I'd take a bit of time away. Wasn't intended to be it being 4 years. But yeah, and then obviously came back, and I regret being away for so long. I regret taking that time off. I regret not sticking to it.
Did you still follow it as a fan though?
Every now and then, sometimes we stick some wrestling on the TV, but I tend to watch some more of the New Japan stuff, like back in the old days, like the old New Japan, Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate kind of promotions, rather than like WWE, AEW, because everyone watches that and everyone gets the same ideas from them shows. So it's just nice to like sort of refresh the memory banks kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I do like what WWE are doing in NXT and AEW, but I just tend to prefer sort of like the more Japanese indie style kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk me through obviously what a typical training session's like for yourself.
Training session normally, so I always go to the gym. So I sort of kind of start my day off with going to the gym because I'm a massive believer on you can wrestle like a wrestler, but you've also got to look like a wrestler.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't necessarily mean big boulder shoulders or a Brock Lesnar chest, but you have to look like you can stand in a fight with your opposition. So yeah, I always do. I always work out on the day, and then I just tend to do one training session a week, just because last year I dislocated my knee.
Ooh.
Yeah, first proper injury in about 12 years. So I'm sort of kind of still a bit wary about it, but I always do the advanced sessions at House Pain um, with the likes of Riley Miles, Rayner, and some other people down there. Um, yeah, because I want to do something that pushes me past my boundaries. So like the drills are more intense, the wrestling's more intense, the matches are more intense, and we do stipulations in matches sometimes. So say like there was one a couple of weeks ago where you couldn't use the ropes because the ropes broke on the show, scenario
Hmm.
kind of thing, or you start in one bit of the match rather than the start, or you submissions match kind of thing, or you work a body part. Um, so yeah, and if I'm not giving my 100% best in that training session, then I kind of write the day off and I start fresh the next day. Does
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So let's obviously talk about House of Pain and stuff like that. For people who obviously is not familiar with the training school, just give us a little insight what it's like.
So House of Pain, I started in 2011, but it was going long before I started training there. We started. I remember my first training session like it was yesterday. I walked in because it was in a gym at the time, so you had to go through the gym, back of the building to the ring. Um, I remember walking in with my mum. I remember Sticks walking over, and I clutched hold of her hand. I was like, "Mum, I don't want to do it anymore. He's big." And my mum said, "You're doing it. You got me up at this early. You're staying." Um, but then I just got hooked after that, and then it sort of became my home away from home. It became my second family, and then over the years, Sticks became a father figure to me. He sort of took me under his wing. We did some spots together. Um, we did workouts together. We did a lot of things together, and he became my dad kind of thing. I still look at him as that now, actually. Um, like he helped me massively with my wrestling, but not just my wrestling, my personal life. He helped me out with massively. Um, COVID, that was in little groups, the little bubbles of four,
Hmm.
because I was living by myself at the age of 16. Sticks sort of like, right, come in our bubble, and we worked out in his back garden. We did like a makeshift gym with pallets and all that with some of the gym equipment from the school. But spiraling off topic, um, it became my family away from my actual family, and it just became like a big social group where everyone who loves wrestling comes together, talks about what we love, and different ways on how to do things.
Absolutely. So for people obviously listening as well, what can fans expect at like a House of Pain show?
A lot of things, fantastic wrestling, comedy matches. Um, it's just a good overall way to spend your Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, watching some good quality wrestling, with good quality wrestling fans also there, wanting to enjoy a good show. Um, there's nothing like a good House of Pain crowd. Like it just seeing it backstage, like hearing the crowd, it just gets you that. extra motivated to put on your best performance.
Yeah, absolutely. So for people, like I said, you've been in the business 12 years and stuff like that. Do you get many people coming up and asking you for advice?
I've had a few people. Riley Miles being a few times he's done it actually. LJ Heron, he's asked me, what do you think of this spot? What do you think to that? Who else? Jade, she's asked me to watch some of her matches. Jade Ajax, Nate Ajax as well. Rayner, and a few other people as well. Off the top of my head, they're the ones that come to mind.
Okay, so I've got a list of people here, and I want you to give me one word to describe these people. Are you ready?
Oh, this is fun. This is going to be fun.
Sticks.
Dad.
Davey.
Loudmouth.
Steve Dean.
Pin Wizard.
Jade.
Gobby.
And last but not least, Disco Dan.
Dancing.
I love that. Just 4 or 5 random people.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So, because you've obviously been involved in wrestling now, obviously as a wrestler, as a fan, how do you look at wrestling now overall?
I sort of look at it as, instead of watching a match for enjoyment, I kind of watch it a couple of times. I watch it once as a fan, then the second I watch it as a wrestler, dissecting bits of the match in different spots, and then the third I analyze like footwork, little things like minuscule things like which leg are they using for this move, what arm are they using for that kind of thing. Because for me, it's my pet peeve is people with not shoddy footwork, but a bit, they don't know where to put this leg kind of thing, and they do it on shows. And then you tell them, and then they do the same thing. So I'm a massive advocate for footwork and positioning kind of thing.
Okay, absolutely. So, how do you juggle obviously family life and wrestling life? Because I imagine that's not easy.
No, it's not. You sort of just got to go with it, really. Like, say you come home, the kids aren't feeling too well, you've got to miss that training session, but then you try and fit it in another way. But one thing that I absolutely love is that my missus and all my kids are my biggest fans. Every time I come out that curtain, they're the first ones there. They're the cheering, they're the loudest. I got a special move in for my youngest lad. So we do this thing called the drizzle. So he literally gets his head into my stomach and he just does that. And he shouts drizzle. So I did it on a show for him and he went absolutely mental for it. And that was the bit he remembered of the match.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, he went absolutely mental for it. But it's just all of finding that balance. Like I always say, Thanos had it right. It is all about finding that balance.
Absolutely. And do you get time to yourself then, or is it always like always go, 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 go?
I get So me and my missus, we get some time when we've dropped the kids off at school. Like for us, our quality spending time together is going to the gym. Because that's what we do together. We love the gym, we love working out together, and we love pushing each other. And then once in a blue moon, we get to do some of our hobbies. Like we love doing escape rooms.
Oh, yes. Now we're talking.
Oh yeah, we love good escape room. We actually took all of the kids to do an escape room. It was the chocolate factory, and they just love like collecting all the bits of chocolate and all that. Yeah, we just do things we enjoy together, which is pretty much the same things, i.e., working out, She watches me at training sometimes. We go to some of our favorite cafes together, kind of thing. Uh, Walks. We just like to keep active. Um, so I don't look at it as time to myself. I look at it as time with my other half, kind of
Mhm.
thing.
And I respect that. Do you know what I mean? The fact that do you know what I mean, you juggle it, you're making time for everything. Do you know things you love?
Mm, yeah, like I said, it's just finding that balance with everything.
What would you say the hardest part is when it comes to wrestling?
With wrestling, it's having a match, receiving feedback, and then you're thinking, right, how can I apply this feedback to my next match? How do I make my match different to the match I had yesterday? How do I make my match different from the other matches on the show? It's all about the creativity of wrestling. It's finding what's different from other people. So you're constantly thinking of new things to do, thinking of new spots, new positions to do moves from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also sort of, like I was saying earlier, a big part for me in wrestling is being in shape to be a wrestler. So you've sort of got to. It's all about like obviously the training, but then what you do outside of training.
Mm-hmm.
So like going to the gym, uh, eating the right foods and the right amounts, kind of thing. But it's just working with different people as well. So say if I did a I don't know a flying hurricane rider on the big show, let's say, I can't do that then to someone who's half my size. So it's all about sort of adapting your moves around other people. Like, for example, if I did a hurricane rider on, I forgot his name now, Riley Miles. He says, "Look, I've injured my neck. I can't afford to bump on it until I've got cleared from the doctors." I was like, right, cool. So you sort of got to adapt it around that, where you don't do as many bumps, if any bumps at all, which is what we kind of learned yesterday at Brady's advanced class yesterday. We sort of, I think the amount of bumps we took were about 4 bumps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about finding the the creativity of different people and different spots in wrestling and adapting to other people.
I think it's also the health and safety aspect as well. I think that's something which I mean, not many people know.
Yeah, and a lot of that is trusting the other person as well. So you've got to have massive amount of trust if someone's suplexing you over the shoulders and keeping you there, and you've got like trusting them not to drop you on your head, which I've had a couple of times. I've never made that mistake twice.
And
um, but yeah, health and safety is a massive part of that. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot.
absolutely. So, throughout your whole journey, obviously in wrestling, what's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself?
It's taught me that I can be who I am without feeling ashamed of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because I don't have a character. I'm just me, just amplified up. And then I make the mistake of taking that into the streets when I'm walking in town with the missus. And I just shout random things everywhere, and people are looking, it's like, oh my God, don't do that again. Um, but it's made me realize I am who I am, and no one else can change that. And it's given me masses of confidence to even when I started out as 11, I didn't want to take my top off on a show. I debuted when I was 13. I didn't want to take it off. But now I'm like, right, first thing I'll do is take my top off backstage and I'm ready to wrestle kind of thing. So it's given me a massive amount of confidence. Um yeah, and it's made me realise because I got bullied at school for liking wrestling. And it's made me realise that other people have their insecurities. So it's okay to have your own insecurities because everyone has insecurities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Mate. So, like I said, you're back obviously in wrestling now. What's the goal for you for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, just getting back into the swing of things, finding my feet, having some good matches with some awesome people. Um, I can't say I've had a bad match with anyone at Hop. Everyone's awesome there. My first match back was against Riley Miles, who I'm good friends with, and I've wrestled his dad on multiple occasions before he moved to America. So it's all finding where I fit in on House of Pain Wrestling now, kind of thing, and seeing where I can take things up to the next level and sort of figuring out where I fit in on the card as well, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Would you say obviously helping others like the next generation as well?
Yeah, like some of the debutees, like Frank Cutler, for example. I've massive amount of respect for him. He came up to me, he was like, I'm so scared. I was like, just breathe, take a deep breath, and you'll be fine. As soon as you step out that curtain, you're Frank Cutler. Would Frank Cutler be nervous? No. So it's kind of just giving people like that who are having their first couple of matches the confidence to go out there, not worrying about it, and just having a good time. Because I feel like if you're not having a good time, why are you doing it? Kind of thing.
Great, great little thing to end on there. H block.
Mm.
Oh, enjoyed yourself, mate. Thank you so much for obviously being open and honest.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So before we head off, mate, is there anything you'd like to plug, all your socials and stuff?
I've got a new Instagram, hblock_101. Give that a follow. Follow House of Pain. Honestly, we do a lot of shows at the minute, all over. So give them a watch. Other people like Brady Phillips, Adam Bolt, Jackie T, people like that. Give them a lot of support because they should be out in more places.
I absolutely love it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may see the QR code on screen. If you scan that QR code, that would take you to H-Block's Instagram. You can go and support him that way. Nice and easy for you. How's that?
Lovely.
Absolutely. So I need one final thing from you, mate. So everyone I interview gets to do the outro for this show. So you can say anything you want. You can promote anything you want, mate. We'll end the stream. H-Block, take it away.
Yeah, lovely. I don't know if I should be given this responsibility because Sticks wouldn't, and that man's known me a lot of years. But thank you everyone for the questions. I've appreciated all your support. Thank you, Liam, for having me on the show. I've had a wicked time. Hope to do it again soon.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, guys.